All right, we're back. I'm your host, Derek Stewart from the DC Stewart Show Podcast, along with my kinfolk, Isaiah. We're covering the second half of this game of Florida against LSU, playing in Baton Rouge and Tiger Stadium. Tight game. First half, Florida played fairly well. LSU played okay to be out ahead 13-10. So we're going to call this game second half. We're going to cover some other sports news. We're going to talk about a little bit of coaching bubbles, coaches that are on the bubble. So we hope you join us. We want you to hit that subscribe and that like button. Watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch TV as well. And we are on Instagram, and we're going to be working towards some other projects really soon. So we're glad to have you aboard. Please feel free to comment. And I got my kinfolk Isaiah back, so tell me a little bit about what you see in this second half. Looks like it's a defensive struggle again, right?
Yes, it is. And I'm looking forward to this game because I know Florida has make some glitches in the second half, and right now they have the ball, and Lagway just got drilled. The quarterback took the ball and took it and started running, but he just got popped. I
I
don't
see that.
recommend quarterbacks doing stuff like that. He need to slide or either, do something, not take that direct hit like he just did. Because if finding himself out of a starting job, he'll be, nurturing some shoulders because he got drilled just now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game to be beautiful, to make their adjustments on both sides because it's like a stalemate. They were tied 10-10 for a little while, and of course LSU kicked the field goal, went up 13-10. So, well, you see these guys went in there and they did what they're supposed to do in terms of getting their kids motivated again. So I'm just ready to call the rest of the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. The bottom line is these teams are two great teams, I think, with LSU being a little bit more impressive in their first few games than Florida, but Florida is still playing to me like they're ready to play. They come ready to play tonight. They didn't come to lay down and get beat. It looks like Lagway just scrambled out and he was thinking about running, and then he pitched it to, I believe it was the tight end for Florida, and it looks like right now 7 penalties for 68 yards for LSU, 5 penalties for 42 yards for Florida. So looks like LSU is just swarming all over them now. They can't get much done, especially with those little, flat passes where Lagway just passed out into the flat. The LSU defenders are just closing in so quick on that until they're going to have to slow them down somehow, especially when it comes to the rush. They're going to have to slow them down, screens, bubble screens, those type of things. Probably would slow down the rush a little bit. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Whenever you got defense, stunting your safeties and stunting your linebackers and stuff like that and interrupting your play,
Pick six.
you gotta do something.
Looks like this could be a pick six. Yeah, he's gone. Pick six, LSU. He stared his receiver down again. Pick six, LSU.
That's the third interception tonight.
And it looks like it's the third interception from him staring down a receiver to me.
Every last one of them. Every last one of them was like he threw the ball right into coverage, man. You just drift, and
He seemed like he doesn't see that safety back there. That safety's playing center field. I don't quite understand it.
The safety was just in playing possum just now. Like he wasn't aware that he was going to throw that ball, and just that was a gift, DC, for a safety to be just in the cut like that.
Exactly.
I think, man, this is going to cost this coach, man. He's got to make an adjustment. He cannot go, even though I love the way this guy throw the ball, he cannot read the fact that these safeties going to continue to pick him apart. No matter how good his defense is playing, if he's keep forcing these balls in there like that. And because, one thing I've seen so far with him, each time he threw an interception, his receiver wasn't even open. He was forcing
Correct.
that ball
Correct.
every time. His receiver has never been open. He just know the play is supposed to be designed for that particular receiver, and he tried to force it in. That ball actually was never going to get to that receiver. Just looking back at it, it was going to be behind the receiver.
Correct.
It was going to be behind the receiver. And look at the head coach, just drop his head in
He
shame.
couldn't believe it
knows.
because I mean you throwing to you're really not following through with your progressions, and if you are, you still staring down the receiver. You're throwing into heavy coverage, just like you just explained, and that's not a smart thing to do. I don't think it's a smart thing to do.
It's not, because the thing is, you're not even making the defense work for it. The defense don't even have to work for it. All he got to do is just lay low. He'll give it to him. The defense just got to lay low. I mean, he's throwing the ball right to the defender.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a long night for Florida if this type of thing keeps up, and now they're behind by 10 points, it looks as though, to me.
And these are all gifts to them. I commend the play of the rest of the team to even have the game this close with 3 interceptions. You know, you gave these guys, and this one cost them. I don't know. I don't remember whether these other ones cost them any points, but it gave them possessions. You know, and you can't keep giving these guys possessions.
That is so true. I mean, if you think about it, it's just not smart, and it's not smart play to do that. But you know, he's got a lot to learn. This is a sophomore year, so he was a freshman last year, but that's still no excuse. I mean, he's been with the program for over a year, and he was in summer camp, so wouldn't you think he would know better?
Well, that goes to what we were talking about earlier, DC. I just don't know whether these guys put the time in. And if they did put the time in, shame on these guys, man. Now, this is the thing what I was mentioning to you earlier today. A guy throws 3 interceptions like this. Do you make a move on him? Make a move on him?
No, I would stick with him.
This is the thing we were talking about in Colorado's case. You said you'll still hang and stick with this guy, with Lagway, and he just threw 3 interceptions. Do you pull him and put your second string in there and let this guy take a rest, because you don't know what's going on in his psyche now? He's thrown 3 interceptions. He's following this guy, eyeballing this guy down all the way.
How would you handle it if you were the coach?
The next game, I will have it mixed up. I won't bench him. I will give some packages to the second string quarterback. Where these guys can go alternate. I won't pull the trigger on them, because you pull the trigger on them, you're just stifling progress, because you just really put the guy in a position where he loses confidence. Because one thing you got to have, if your confidence in your leader, and the quarterback has got to be your leader. I don't give
That's
a
right.
crap.
He is the brain of the offense. I mean, he runs the offense, and that's the key.
Yeah, and see, LSU was having fun with these guys because of their. It almost looked like he's inexperienced to be doing stuff like that. It just don't look right, because a quarterback can be so crafty.
If you're playing the game like you should, and you're playing smart, that's the key, you know?
Yeah. I love to see crafty, smart quarterbacks when they'll fool you, man.
That's
but
right.
This is not fooling anybody. He's watching the guy all the way down the field. And he looked like he was so hurt, but he's still in there now. I guess they don't have anybody to replace him. And look at that, now he's jumping off sides. Man, I don't like this game.
Well, it's getting out of hand now. I mean, because if you look at it, I mean, Florida's still in it. They can come back, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, if you're down 10 points already. Looks like
Yeah,
Lagway is
Tigers are
taking another snap.
yeah.
He was able to connect with his receiver right there. So we were talking a little bit about, before we went to the half, about other coaches that could be on the bubble in the NCAA college football ranks. I mentioned Luke Fickell earlier. I mentioned Kalen DeBoer. He's got some of the heat off of him with that win today over Wisconsin. I was watching Deshaun Foster, who's the coach of UCLA, and Deshaun Foster used to play for UCLA. He went to the NFL, had a good career in the NFL, but it looks as though like he's not doing very well at UCLA. They let New Mexico come in and beat him last night at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. And knowing that UCLA faithful the way I do, he's only on the clock. He's got a matter of time before, unless he can turn the ship right now in these next games, because I believe UCLA has not won a football game yet in this season.
Wow, that's most of the time, DC, these guys, these presidents of these universities, they gotta really get to the point where they think things through, because sometimes that grass is not green on the other side when you pull it. You let these guys go. You think that it's not working out. You let your head coach go, and next thing you know, you still don't get anything out of making that change.
Right.
And see, I think that's what's happening with UCLA. You made that change, and you push your head coach out. You bring a new one in, and it don't mean anything. SC was the same way. I thought they was going to start winning championship when SC made their coaching change, and
Right.
they're nowhere near going to no championship. They're
That's
in the
right.
same predicament that they were in before.
Well, it looks like they're winning right now on the road at Purdue. They're winning the game, and the SC so far is undefeated, but they played 2 tune-up games technically before they got to Purdue. Purdue is a pretty formidable opponent, I think, but if you look at SC's and the expectation of USC, and UCLA has an expectation as well. I think UCLA has just been so down on their luck so long with their football program. I think they made a mistake by letting Jim Mara Jr. go, because Jim Mara Jr. had a pulse of that program. He understood how to recruit these kids, and he got fired, and he ended up going to Connecticut, and he turns Connecticut program around in the football program. And I just thought that they prematurely got rid of him rather than giving him more time. And then they brought in Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly turned around and, to me, just got paid and left. Because Chip Kelly didn't do anything spectacular in that program. Chip Kelly didn't take that program to new heights. He basically just came in, he got that guaranteed contract, and when he got tired and when he saw it was going to get tough when they went to the Big Ten, he bailed. He ended up going to Ohio State as their OC, and then he won a national championship with Ohio State last year, and now he's back in the NFL with the Raiders. So he catapulted his career into something even better. So UCLA ended up hiring Deshaun Foster because I think he was on that staff, and he has nothing. He has had nothing but, I would say his luck has just not been good. I mean, because he had Eric Bieniemy the first year as the OC. They got rid of Eric Bieniemy. He has a new OC. He has a new quarterback. He got the kid out of Tennessee who transferred there. And they haven't done anything. They're 0-3 and 0-2 at home, and that doesn't look good. It's a Division I program, a very proud program. I mean, when Terry Donahue was there, they were winning Pac-12 championships and everything, winning bowl games. They didn't win any national championships, but they won a lot of games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Deshaun Foster, I mean, he's got to do something. I mean, because if he doesn't, he's not going to make it. He's just not going to make it. And we'll continue to monitor these coaches because, like I say, a lot of things that's happening now with Florida. you would think Billy Napier would have made those adjustments, which he did, but are your players executing? Are they executing the adjustments? I mean, would you say they're executing the adjustments with him still continuing to throw picks?
Well, he just made a nice throw here, but it was not a long throw.
Mm-hmm.
If he's gonna be staring down these receivers like that, it's better to do it on a sideline as a throw. Because once you start throwing inside the field area, you
Mm-hmm.
throw into more traffic. It's gonna get picked. If
Correct.
it's a one-on-one thing with a receiver, chances are the receiver might not see your eyes, but that safety will. Now they got him sacked now, so it's just like the safety will plot on you when he's watching your eyes like that. When you're going down long like that, he can drift right off.
Mm-hmm.
By the time that ball arrives, he'll be there to get it because he got all the time in the world to see what you're looking at, and know good and well you don't try to look off and go to that receiver. He just look at him all the way down the field. Yep.
That was a great catch right there by a Florida receiver. He threw a pass to a Florida receiver. And so let me ask you a question, Isaiah. Do you think it's possible that John Gruden is going to land a Division I job with college? Because it seemed like his name, and every time I look at a social media platform, they got him in a different polo shirt, or they got him in a different, with a different hat from these schools. I mean, what do you think is the probability of him getting a job? Say a UCLA if it opens up, or say a Alabama if it opens up. What would he be? Where would he be a good fit?
Sitting on his ass at home. That's
You
where he'll be a
pretty you
good
pretty
fit.
blunt about that when you said that. Tell us why.
Yeah, because I don't think he's a good coach anymore, DC. I don't know whether he was ever a great coach, but I don't even think he's a good coach anymore. And sure to hell, I don't think he's going to make. We were talking about Dabo Sweeting in the first segment of the show,
Mm-hmm.
and how the game is going to pass him by if he don't grow accustomed to this NIL money and this transfer portal. Here's a guy who's not have any attachment to this portal with Chucky. Chucky don't know anything about this stuff. I mean,
You
he's
think he
never
could?
coached.
You think he could adjust and start knowing about it?
He might could adjust, but I don't know his way of coaching gonna fit anybody. I think he's just a guy who's sought after a job because, man, I really wanted him when he went over to the Raiders. I mean, he had some misfortune there and ultimately had to leave without, he wouldn't involuntary. He didn't want to leave. He was forced out.
Mm-hmm.
But even there, I was watching the team not even take off.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he was going to build that team. I thought he was at first, but it didn't show signs once he got there. When they first had his name, the hype, and then of course they had the new facility, the new name, the new transition where they moved over to Vegas and all this stuff, and then he was going to be the first one to take off and build a program for them. And it just didn't seem like it was going to grow into a winning organization with him there. And then of course all the scandal came and he had to leave. But now his name is resurfaced for all of these jobs, and every time you show his face, it's got this hype because he's got the name recognition. But I
Correct.
don't think he's going to be a good coach no matter where he goes. I really don't. Especially as competitive as this game is,
It's very
this
competitive, and
game,
as you could see, Bill Belichick is getting ready to find out as well, right?
he is. He is. And I think Belichick still is a better coach than Gruden right now, Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not doing well, and I don't think Chucky, will do a good job in collegiate football. I really don't think he's going to do well. I think he's going to get a job though because of his name and his career has been a success to a certain degree, but lately, I'm saying his last years of coaching, it wasn't nothing to brag about. It wasn't
Right.
like he was taking for no Super Bowl or anything. He just was winning games, and he wasn't even going to the deep in the playoffs. He
Mm-hmm.
just won games, and I don't think he's going to do well in college because this is a whole new way of coaching in college football. It's not like it used to be. Is this total learning stuff, and I don't even know whether Gruden is prepared for the grind either. DC, the coaching in college football is a constant grind.
Grind.
Is
Yeah,
is
you're
is,
right.
is a
You're
all
right
year
about that.
round type of thing, man, and I don't know whether he's going to be up for that challenge.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because, like I said, he's constantly being, mentioned as a possible replacement for some of these teams, and it makes me wonder where these administrators' heads are when it comes to bringing someone like him in. I mean, because I would say I don't think he's going to be successful at that level, but that may be premature to say. But granted that the game has changed over time, and even the NFL has changed, and he wasn't able to turn that even when he was with the Raiders the second time around, right? Because he was with the Raiders the first time around. They did all right, and then he ended up going to Tampa Bay right behind Tony Dungy, and that's the only way he got his ring. He wouldn't have had no Super Bowl ring if it wasn't for Tony Dungy's team.
Everything's in place. All you had to do is just get on the staff. He didn't even have to coach. Just get on the staff. Everything
Mm-hmm.
was already in place.
That's right. That's right. So, he's just one of the many coaches that, is probably going to be throw his hat in to try to be considered for something like that, right?
Yeah. Every time they say anybody who's potentially could be removed, they put his shirt on, his face on that team's logo to make it look,
Yes.
like he's going to be there. But, he's had on several different shirts already.
Yeah, it looks
You
as though
know,
he has.
hmm
So it looks as though it's still 20-10. LSU is winning. LSU currently is third on the AP and the coaches poll for the NCAA. They looking more like LSU now. They're playing more aggressive. They're playing with a lot of momentum because they've got these picks,
opening up the offense. Yeah, they
and their
opening up the
offense is
offense.
somewhat beginning to come alive. Although Florida's still putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback for LSU,
But the
Nussmeier.
momentum is LSU's going LSU way. The momentum has totally switched to LSU's favor.
Yeah, and momentum is a really tricky thing at any level of sports. When depending on which sport you're playing. But when you're playing football and you get that momentum, you have to hold on to that momentum. You need to keep that momentum. And that's one thing Saban mentioned during his time as a football coach is you got to keep that momentum going. You just can't let it go out from under you, because if you do, the other team has the ability to be able to stay in a game or win a game. So momentum is everything. Florida's got to figure out a way to claw their way back into this by their offense being more explosive. And a lot of I think Billy Napier, I think he used to call his own plays. I don't know if he does now as part of this, agreement with him coming back. A lot of times we were talking about, Mark Rick, and at the end of the season, you have to go in and meet with the athletic director and on some administrators on how you're going to make the program better next year. It could be challenging, and sometimes they make changes or they force you to make changes. Does that sound better?
Yeah, and those guys who's been there, like Margaret, get offended by that. DC, when you've been on teams, national championship teams, and on teams that you were on a staff where if they can't trust your better judgment and to come in there it's almost offensive to a guy who's been there coaching for 30 years, like Mark Richt was. Mark Richt didn't tolerate that crap, man. He felt like he was worthy of the job, and he was even giving, tens. I mean, I think he's gave away millions of dollars of his salary to upgrade the facilities there because he was so entrenched with the program. But then that wasn't about his money; it was about winning.
Mm-hmm.
So they was like, we don't care about you giving us money like this. What's up with this loser?
That's
So
right.
and it's like, I'm gonna give you a report card. And they said, no, 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 you're not giving me no report card. You know how
Yep.
offensive that is for me. I came in there and took this job, and because you was in a slump, and now you're gonna try me like that, giving me a report card. Guess what? I'm out of here. And he took off out of there, man, and he didn't look back. And then he had some health issues, and now he's, I think he's still on that show, that pregame show, but he's had some kind of health issues, but he's still working, I think. Yeah.
Right. Right. Um, Man, at times life can get tough for certain people. Whether they're coaching or whether they're just doing, going about life, trying to get through life a certain way, and then you get all of these challenges start to happen, and all of these obstacles and barriers and stuff start to jump in front of you, and you have to figure out a way to get around that. You have to pivot, and you have to keep moving and not get down too much on yourself, as opposed to addressing whatever issue it is and addressing it head up, and then trying to make certain changes to get around it or go over it or whatever you need to do, right? It
Yeah.
looks like Florida has got back on offense, and it is second down. Lagway was able to complete that pass to one of his receivers, and they picked up a decent gain because they were pent back in deep in their territory, which they still are. I think they were able to make it out to past the 10-yard line. So
He's got close to the first down.
it looks like we're
I
going
actually
to.
like that, man. He's got more positive than negatives
Oh,
on his.
for sure, no doubt about that. He's definitely got more positive than negative.
Yeah, but he just gotta concentrate on not looking at his receivers, especially the play is designed to go to.
Absolutely. So overall, right now, if you're looking at the current 12 teams in order as far as the rankings go, and let's look at the current rankings, AP current rankings. I think Georgia is going to stay still because they won today on the road. I don't know where Notre Dame is going to fall with this Texas A&M game.
They up though.
Oh, Notre Dame is back up now?
Yeah.
So right now, the top 25. Oh, well, we're going to look at the top 12. We don't need to look at the 25 teams. Ohio State won big today. Penn State won big today. LSU currently is in their game, and we'll see what the outcome is. Miami looked like they're winning big. Oregon won big. So the top 5 is pretty much going to stay the same, I would think. It's not going to be any change there. Unless LSU loses, they will drop. So if LSU wins this game, I believe they will stay put, depending on, because they have jumped out in front right now. Georgia is sitting at number 6. I believe they'll stay still. Texas is 7. Notre Dame's 8. Illinois is 9. Florida State's 10. South Carolina is 11. And Clemson is 12. So Clemson is definitely going to drop down. They're 1 and 2.
Yeah. Did they mention anything about Florida State today? Are they on a bye week this week?
I think they did have a bye week this week. Let's check and see. I'll go in and look right now. Go to ESPN and see if Florida State played this week. So let's look at NCAA. Let's look at the rankings. I'm currently on ESPN right now. I don't think Florida State is playing this week. Well, let's look at their schedule. I can go to their schedule real quick. So it looks like they play Kent State next week. So they're on a bye week this week on 9/20, which, today is the 13th. So they play next week.
Okay.
They're interviewing Coach Brian Kelly right now. He looks a lot older than he looked when he was at Notre Dame. It looked like he's got a lot of stress on his face. Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma more than likely will move up to 12 because they won today. Let's see. Oklahoma. So they blew up Temple, so I know they're going to move up, and Clemson's going to move down. Clemson might even drop its low. Wow. The running back just broke free for Florida. It's a 1st and 10. But it's going to be interesting because the SEC standings right now, all of these teams are going to have to play each other and beat each other up. How do you think that's going to turn out? Which two teams you think is going to end up in the SEC championship? Because, you look at Georgia, I would say Georgia is going to be there. But are these other teams going to be there? Is LSU going to be there? Is Alabama going to be there? Is Texas going to be there? Could you make a prediction now?
It's wide open, DC. I cannot, because it's wide open. You got 12 teams now to be in the playoff, which is very interesting, but I like it like that. I always thought it needed to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 teams there, because when they started out, it was just almost like a joke to only have like 6 teams there.
Right.
Now you have the 12, you doubled it. So all the whiners could shut up, because remember, a lot of teams was being left out. You had teams that was undefeated was being left out of it because it was only 6 teams when they started. But now you can lose a game and still go down there and be the national championship. Win a national championship. So I like the way they got it now. The playoff system should work now. So it was almost similar to the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of how, the wild card week comes, and then you got to have all those teams play each other, and then it comes down to the divisional championship and then the conference championship, and that's how it plays out. So it looks like it's 4th and 4, 13:09. It's still plenty of time. Well, it's the 4th quarter. So it's 13:09, and have you noticed though, when you watch a football game, whether you at the football game or whether you are watching it on TV, how fast the time seems to tick away? Even though they're stopping the clock for incomplete passes, or they're stopping the clock for, timeouts and stuff like that, it looks like it's already 13:09 already, and Florida is going for it on a 4th and 4.
Yeah.
At least they were considering it. I think he changed his mind because they.
To change his mind. There's too much time to jeopardize them scoring again.
Exactly.
And that would be dumb for him to try to go for that. Oh, he is going for it.
It looks like they just went on a break right now. They just a timeout.
Yeah.
So right now I'm looking at some news, and I'm looking at some of the sports news right now. Who do you think? Let's transition a little bit over to the NFL, and then once this game starts back, we'll start talking about that. What do you think the Miami Dolphins are going to have to do? Because I know there's been rumors swirling that they're thinking about packaging Mike McDaniel and Tua up. Is that true? Because you're down there right in the thick of it.
Man, there's a lot of talk here about not packaging them up, but getting rid of them.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I mean, packaging them up means getting rid of them
yeah,
together.
yeah. It's bad when it comes to because everybody knows that McDaniel loved Tua, man. I mean, he's not shy about it.
Mm-hmm.
That he has that deep feelings for Tua, and I could see how their relationship grew to be that way because he actually inherited Tua. McDaniel inherited Tua.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't blame everything on him. They had Flores just absolutely despised Tua because he didn't think Tua was a good quarterback. He thought Tua was soft as butter. He thought he was soft as a marshmallow. He thought he was soft as cotton. He didn't really want him on the team. They drafted him anyway, and Flores was really upset about it because he
Mm-hmm.
didn't think he was the type of quarterback that he thought would be beneficial to the program and how he wanted to run his offense. And then to a certain degree, proved them that Flores was right. I
Right.
mean, who could say with injury, your body is your body, but to sustain the type of injuries year in and year out, and the Dolphins was super patient with him for him to get healthy and to be able to play. And they even gave him a contract to prove that they were super behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And for him not to fulfill that contract, I'm saying fulfill that meaning production wise, to
Okay.
get on the field, be healthy, and be successful. Now, the fans don't give a crap about how much you paid them. They want to see some success
That's right.
behind this pick. They want to
Mm-hmm.
see some success behind all of this thing. Because if you look at the Dolphins roster, the Dolphins got a great roster. The Dolphins has a great team if you look at them on paper. They got
Right.
a great core of receivers. The quarterback's supposed to be good, but his numbers showed it when he's healthy that he's a good quarterback. But then here's the season where everybody's supposed to came together and they went to the Colts and got mocked. The Colts mocked the floor. The Colts literally gave them a good whooping.
Gave him a
And
really good whooping. Yeah.
the fans were so upset and they were so embarrassed. Well, they're speaking out about it. They're not taking any shorts. They're upset because here it is. They felt like everything was in place. We
Mm-hmm.
got all the players. And of course, last year Tariq was so mad because we didn't make the playoff, and he got out there and started showing his little chocolate rear end. He
Mm-hmm.
was pissed, and he was complaining about being traded. And Tariq watched his former team continue to win without him, and that got to be devastating to a guy who I think he's a winner. I think he's got that winning attitude. I think he's got. I mean, he won a Super Bowl before, and then he came down here chasing a bag, and he got it, but he's not. The winning is not coming with it, and I think that the way he feels now, he wish he would have stayed where he was because he would rather take a little less money, but the winning will still be there.
Right.
But that's not what he's getting now, so he's not really, good with what's happening with the organization and the losing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm currently looking at news right now on ESPN, and I guess this is real time news, but it says that, technically the Dolphins have no plans to trade Tyreek.
They don't.
They
I don't
haven't
think
received any calls, according to the Dolphins. They haven't received any calls from any teams that are interested in him, because I don't think they want to assume his contract. But help me if I'm wrong.
nobody wants to. I don't think the Dolphins really want to get rid of him. And Tyreek, man, I mean, he talks a lot, but I think genuinely because he didn't have those problems before when he was at KC when they were winning.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his personal situations taken care of with his wife and all that type of stuff. And I think he want to concentrate on football now. And he want to bring some winning here. He said the other day he was blessed to be here. And I'm taking him at his word because I think he is blessed to be here. I think he's blessed to be in the NFL, period. Because you got to be blessed to be able to do something that you love and make enormous money with
Mm-hmm.
with your career and your occupation and he just has so many things happening to him at once personally, and then his professional life was, up in shambles too because they were losing.
Mm-hmm.
And for a guy who's accustomed to winning, and he's a superstar, and he's fast, and you go losing, and just it's hard to deal with a person who's accustomed to having things their way, and his way is winning. Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the only way to be is to is to win. Winning is everything. That's what everybody wake up every day to win. Whether you going to work or whether you, whatever your accomplishments or whatever your inspirations are, and you're doing it to win. At least I would pray that most people are. Looks like Florida just had an interception. They picked LSU's quarterback Nussmeier off. They're trying to drive down the field right now to score, which they need to do it. I'm looking at some highlights of USC. It looks like they just picked up one of their defensive linemen just picked up a fumble and ran it all the way back for a touchdown. So it's good that SC is kind of stepping into their own. They're stepping into how Lincoln Riley really wants them to play every week. As opposed to last year and the year before last, because Lincoln Riley's a good offensive-minded coach. I mean, he's a young offensive-minded coach. He's just never had a defense. He's just never had a defense. I mean, even when he was spending those years at Oklahoma, he never had a defense. He was always running into problems that their defense couldn't shut anybody down or stop them, right?
Lagway is running that ball now.
Yeah, it looks like Lagway just ran it.
Well, I think despite how this game goes, and I think that those 3 interceptions going to come back and haunt them, but I do believe this is something where the Gators should be able to look their head up in
keep
the
their
air
heads
and
high upon if they don't
Yeah.
win this game. They have some things that they could look at that has been an improvement. Would you say that?
Yeah, definitely. Man, I mean, other than these little glitches they have with these picks that I think really cost them, otherwise they played a solid game. The quarterback just got picked. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
is the way the game goes. But so many other things they did correctly, and one thing I can say now, they're playing hard. They
They
playing
are.
hard.
Those kids are playing hard now. That's one thing you cannot question. I mean, Florida's players are playing hard, especially on defense. I mean, their offense is okay, but their defense has really stepped up and kept them in this game, even though, they gave up some points here and there. But I think the defense is really what kept Florida in this thing up until now. Looks like it's a 3rd and 9. Lagway is still in the shotgun.
Another dangerous throw. Another dangerous throw.
Mm-hmm.
See, look.
Looked like a quick throw, but he got tackled immediately. I mean, one thing about that is you would think the receiver would run past the first down marker, but that was a quick throw, so I think that was a design play that he just made the play with. So it's 8:29 to go. 4th down. They're going for it on 4th down. Three receiver package on the left. He should, well, Yeah, he should try to run it. But then again, he caught it. Okay, so it's a first down. It looks like that was a good decision on Lagway's part to go ahead and scramble out and then toss it to one of his players. So they did get the first down on that one. I don't think this is going to throw a monkey wrench in the SEC. The dynamics of who's going to be playing for the SEC championship, because that's the ultimate goal, is to make it to Atlanta and to play in Mercedes-Benz Stadium to play in the SEC championship.
Let me ask you this, DC. With this game being so competitive, with Florida is not even ranked, and if the Gators happen to score and bring this game even closer to what it is, do you think they're going to lose their slot as number 3 in the rankings of the top 10?
I don't think so. I think LSU will stay in the top 10. I don't know how far they will fall down. If let's just say, for example, if Florida,
I'm not saying leaving the top 10, be rearranged, because if you look at the game with the Miami Hurricanes, they slaughtered South Carolina, and that game wasn't even a contest.
or South Florida, South Florida,
South Florida,
right?
and it was not even a contest. And now, do you think this number 3 slot is going to be shifted around? And let
You know
Miami
what?
move
Since you brought that to my attention, I kind of got a bigger picture of what you're saying is that even if they were to pull this game out the way they played tonight, I think there's other teams that's going to move up and they will fall out of the number 3 spot. I really do. I don't think they'll hold number 3. I think Miami's going to move up, and there's a potential that Miami could easily be put up into that top 5, up to 3.
They're already the top 5.
Yeah,
they are 5.
So they can move up to 3. I would think Miami would be heavily considered to be up in the 3rd ranked team in the country. Yeah.
Right. They might swap out Miami and put LSU 5 and Miami 3.
That could potentially happen. That's a good question too. I'm glad you posed that question. So where do you think the state of college football is today? I'm just curious as to your thought process on how far the game has come, how far the game has evolved. Do you think that college football is in the right place right now, or is there more work to do?
It's always going to be work to perfect something, but right now, I love college football, man, and it's interesting. It's entertaining. It's fun to watch it because you're looking at youth that started out 6, 7, 8 years old, start to kind of pattern how they're going to live their life and take care of themselves, because ultimately you can consider them professionals. People always talk about it was collegiate, and it's not even a professional sports. But if you're getting the kind of money that they are getting, you got to be professional. That's I consider to be a professional thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it. I think you always going to have growth, and I think when they was allowing kids to be uncomfortable where they are, they can move around. I mean, we just talked about Van Dyke, who was here at Miami. I would have thought he would have been graduated and moved on to a job somewhere, but he's still chasing a dream of being good and starting somewhere and perhaps going in the NFL, because it's so weird how this game is. Don't you know, DC, this guy, if you look at it years ago, he was contending in the Heisman Trophy, and now he's bumped around to where he's not even starting.
Yeah, with SMU, right?
Van Dyke was one of the guys who they had mentioned one year of being a contender for the Heisman Trophy, and now he's not even starting, and it's probably his senior year because he's been around for I don't know how long, unless he got redshirted one of those years he didn't play because he got injured.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you just don't know. But getting back to college football, it's come a long way. You can always build on it. But so long as these guys are being able to take care of themselves financially to a certain degree, and the game has grown, you just look at the stadiums. Even
Mm-hmm.
right now, watching this game here at LSU versus Florida, when they pan in the stadium, you look at how diverse the stadium is with
Absolutely.
all walks of life of people watching the game. And that's what it should be. That's what every stadium should be like that, because it's a lovable, way of pastime. You got a Saturday morning all the way to Saturday night, you watching these young kids enjoying themselves. You're watching the young, beautiful girls that's rooting on their
Mm-hmm.
classmates and stuff like that. You imagine going to a school like LSU, probably got 35,000 kids.
Students or
Got to pick
more. Yeah.
throw the pick again, another pick.
Yeah,
The,
I just was going to mention that he just threw another interception.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
having a tough night,
but
very tough
yeah,
night.
but that was an overthrown ball too. But like I said, this is a game where look at the fun that they're having, and this is you can enjoy that with your parents up there in the stands, or your aunts and uncles coming to watch you play, and
Mm-hmm.
it's super, man. Because once you become an adult, some of that stuff changed because they're still looking at you like you're little Billy, or you little such and such, or you little Sam, or you little anybody, you little Paul,
Mm-hmm.
you little Richard, you all these little guys, and all of a sudden now, little Sam, and little Richard, a little Eric, a little Tony, a little Juan. Oh, you guys was playing, and now you in college. And that same little kid used to be playing in the parks and playing in the street and playing in the schools, you know, are embarking on being a professional, either just right there being, enjoying something that you watched them play when they were 7, 8 years old.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Florida's chances is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I mean,
Yeah.
this last pick to me is costly, and it's
I
costly
think that's a
because
good thing.
they're working against time. LSU has the momentum. Let's just say if LSU can chew up the rest of the clock, probably with the offensive drive where they chew up, because last I saw it was a 6 minutes and some change. They could chew up this clock and probably sit on the ball. They don't even need to score because they're up over 10 points, right?
Yeah.
It's 20 to
Yeah.
10. So they're 10
Yeah.
points down. They need to score twice in order to get this game back even. And that's going to be difficult, man. That's going to be very difficult. When you get
It's going to be a tough
behind and
ride.
get in a jam like that.
It's going to be a tough ride back to Gainesville, man, because when you think about throwing 4 interceptions and you only lose by 10 points, when you lose by 10 points and you threw 4 interceptions, you start thinking, man, we should have won this game.
That's right.
Because you gave them 4 opportunities. You gave them 4 opportunities, and they had a pick six on one of them, right?
They
So
did.
you gave them one touchdown. You gave them a touchdown. So in all actuality, if you would have threw those other 3 interceptions, you could have won this game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how logical thinking people would consider this outcome, that you could have really won this game.
That's right. That's right. So it looks as though now LSU has the ball. Is 6:20, well, 6+ minutes. And the ball is, they're just going to chew it up. If they get 2 or 3 first downs, it's over, I would
Oh,
say.
that's over. All you need is 2 or 3 first downs.
Yeah. I think he just threw this one into too much coverage. I don't think he understands how LSU is disguising their coverages. Because their coverages, Napier's talking to him right now. And did you know Napier actually got his start at an HBCU? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Billy Napier started out at an HBCU, and he was at South Carolina State. That's where he even talked about that. He started his coaching career serving as a quarterbacks coach at South Carolina State in 2005 under Buddy Pugh. And I think Buddy Pugh is already retired because he was at South Carolina State forever, the head coach, Buddy Pugh. But it's nice to know that Napier coached at a HBCU and he got his start. And that was technically his first coaching job. Because he played quarterback at Furman. You remember the Furman University? Furman used to have a pretty decent squad back in the 80s, man. I haven't heard much about Furman since then. He worked as a graduate assistant at Clemson as well.
Yeah, the quarterback from Texas A&M just got drilled, man. Did
he? Yep. Notre Dame still winning the game?
Yeah, 34-31. Yeah.
So DJ Lagway, I think he's a talented young man. He's going to be fine. He's got to learn, that sometimes when they disguise certain coverages, and certain defensive coordinators are good at it, they can make it look like they're going to be doing cover 2 or cover 0, or they'll give you an alignment to kind of confuse you as a quarterback, and he's just got to get used to that, I think. Looks like LSU is punting the ball back to him now, though. Back to Florida. They have 5 minutes to try to get 7-10 points on the board. That's enough time, I think, if they can score quick.
There's plenty of time. If he can go down there, and he don't have to rush it either. If he go down there now, he's going to have great field position. So it depends if they feel his ball. Oh my God. That ball rolled all the way down to about a 15. I didn't think he.
So let me ask you this. Do you think Penn State's for real at number 2 this year? With James Franklin?
I haven't seen Penn State play this year, but for them to be sitting at number 2, solid number 2, I think they're for real. They're not putting teams that don't supposed to be there as high as number 2. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm bragging because I seen my Hurricanes play several good games this year. Mm-hmm. I mean, the last week was a softball game when they played against Bethune-Cookman.
Right.
When they played Cookman, that was a softball game. But the first game to beat Notre Dame and then to take care of South Florida like they did, and then just think about right now, South Florida beat Florida, but they didn't blow them out. We flat out blew them out today. We blew them out.
But Miami was ready to play. I mean, South Florida should have known that they were in a heap of trouble, man, when they showed up down there.
Yeah, but
it wasn't going to be no Cinderella win for them when they came to Miami. It just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah,
they brought them back to reality. That's reality. They were able to snake their way out of Florida with a win, but they weren't going to Miami and put up no fight like that.
I don't think they snaked their way out of nothing, DC. Miami got a freaking great team. And people are going to realize that. Florida right now, I'm watching them play, and this is the reason why I'm answering your question this way. Florida got beat by South Florida. Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, LSU is number 3. Mm-hmm. And other than if you just take away all those interceptions, this is a relatively competitive game, and they're number 3.
I totally agree. This is a very competitive game. I think so, because from the very kickoff to the point where Florida was letting them know that, look, we're coming here to play. We're not coming here to lose this game, and you got to credit Billy Napier with that. I mean, he was able to motivate these kids to come in here and say, look, this is what we're getting ready to try to do to you. And if we're successful, we're going to be successful. Oh, that was a great catch by
Yeah,
Florida receiver Hanson.
yeah,
Hanson made a
yeah.
great catch because that ball was a little high for him, and he went up and got it at his highest point.
I think they're
But
in the sense of urgency now. They need to start running some hurry up offenses
they
now.
do. They should start hurry up offense, right? Because they're down to 3 minutes and some change. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
another catch by Hanson. Hey, just keep running it because if you run that type of play, LSU is going to have to change the way that they're defending it, right?
Yeah, but the time is of the essence now because they got a half of the field to go. They can work that sideline to stop the clock every now and then, but they need to get a quick score just in case
He got a first
um,
down
LSU
on a
guys
running
can get
play.
that ball back and secure the ball because they may just have to go for an onside kick now,
For
just
sure,
maybe.
because the time is ticked off. So much time is ticked
Yeah,
off.
they had 5 minutes, and now they're running the ball just to secure the first down. Uh, I'll be chunking that thing at that end zone now. He's got a arm for that.
Oh, another interception. He just threw another interception. Game over. 2 minutes to go. The DB came and picked it. I think he's thrown like 4 interceptions in this game so far, right?
Yeah, that's they done.
I think they're
And
done. I think this sealed the
he
deal right here.
yeah,
I think he
I
was in
think
trouble and he tried to throw it out of. I think he was trying to throw it out of bounds, but
I
then
thought he
again, I
was.
could be wrong.
He had guys in the area, so
Yeah, that DB just
oh,
was smart. He just jumped right in because he. I don't understand that they got a pulse for how he's looking and what he's doing. They're just sitting back there and waiting, man. From what I could
he
see.
showed off his back foot
But you
too
could see
fast.
Billy Napier talking to him and tell him, "Look, man, you know what? Which progression you were supposed to go to? Should you have eaten the ball? I mean, I think he's just talking to him that way. He's not gonna come down hard on him or nothing. I think Napier's trying to customize a, the play calling for him. I really do think that they're trying to give
Well,
him stuff that he'll be comfortable with. You know,
when you do that for a guy, you coach his strength because he's a good quarterback. He
he is
just
a good
don't.
quarterback.
'Cause he was trying to make something happen on that one, man.
Mm-hmm.
He really was trying to make something happen on that because he was running around. And then I'm gonna tell you right now, that's 101 as a quarterback. You threw it off your feet like that there, and it's gonna float and give you everybody time to adjust to run over there under that ball. And
Mm-hmm.
see, right there, what I just seen, DC, is something where I blame more than him throwing that ball because it didn't appear that his receiver went up there fighting for that ball. That receiver,
True.
that defender went right over there and snagged it out of the air. These
Yep.
guys are so spoiled where they wanted to hit them in the hands instead of going to that ball. When that ball come in like that, you gotta go get it. You don't go out there and wait till it comes to you, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why they got picked it off. If you
That's
look
right.
at it, he wasn't even going at the ball. He was waiting on the ball to come to him and get to him. And the
That's right.
ball could have been going that short, but he sure had these guys in the vicinity of where that ball was going.
Mm-hmm.
So I blame that receiver too, even though he was on the
Absolutely.
run and he threw the ball soft because he didn't have enough power on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a done deal for them.
You know,
That,
reverting back to Penn State, I don't have a lot of confidence that their quarterback is going to. Drew Aller is a talented quarterback. That's Penn State's quarterback, but he made some massive mistakes against Notre Dame last year in that playoff game. I don't know because Penn State really haven't played a level of competition yet that's going to test their resolve, should I say. They
What
played a
about their
lot. They
schedule?
played several tune-up games. They played in Nevada, and they played, a game today against Villanova. Come on, man. You don't. I mean, they can win these games with third and fourth string players, but when they get into the thick of it and they start having to play Ohio States and the Michigans and teams like that, that's going to see what they're made of. And it seemed like for the last several years they've come up short when they play these type of teams.
Yeah, man.
James
I'm so
Franklin
proud
stuck
of
with him though. Drew Aller, he's a pretty decent quarterback, but I just think that he made some serious, massive errors last year. Several games, but especially in that game against Notre Dame down in Miami. That was the game to determine who went to the national championship. Because if Penn State would have pulled that one out, they would have been in the national championship game. At least I believe they would have, or been in the thick of it. So all LSU has to do now is just run out the clock. I don't think they have to do much. It's a 2-minute warning right now, so I think Florida is done. I really think they're done.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Florida faithful is probably going to be, they're going to eat DJ Lagway alive. We'll see. For all of them picks he threw tonight.
They're going to eat both of them alive, the coach and him.
All it takes is actually 2 first downs and it's over. Florida's got 2 timeouts, so I think they're going to use one now. Let me ask your opinion about coaches who don't utilize their timeouts properly. What do you think of that?
Some of these guys don't care about using those timeouts, especially in a game like this when it's almost like no hope. You leave timeouts on the board because he needs 2 scores here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want to play, just leave everything out on the field. Some people don't leave it all out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I would leave it all out on the field because you never know what can happen. Throughout my lifetime, I've seen some really freaky games at the end, DC, where you think that the game is over.
It is not over.
Get up and leave or turn
it
the
ain't
channel
over till the fat lady sing.
That big old fat lady saying, man, and you can utilize your timeouts because you can use them and stop the clock.
Oh, he's gone. This guy's gone. LSU is getting ready to score. I think he's going to take it to the house. No, he did not. He got caught right down on the 4-yard line. They just let him break a huge run. So I definitely know it's over now. 1 minute and 42 seconds to go. Well, it's a flag, so it could be a hole. Because he did have a lot of room. Well, they penalized in Florida for an illegal substitution on that one. So that was a big run. That was a back-breaking run right there. To let him get to that corner like that, that means that your containment, your end crashed in, and all of them got blocked. You know how they tell you do not break contain and let that back get to the sideline, get outside, because he has room to run. Yeah. They're just going to take a knee. They don't want to score on Florida anymore. Look at this.
He got juked though, DC. He didn't lose contain. He got juked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, that's class right there. That's showing some class. But that's kind of stuff I think is stupid. When you get your butt beat, now you want to fight. If you want to fight,
well, he tried to push this center into the quarterback. He shoved him back into the quarterback.
Yeah, but he already had took a knee, so the play was stopped already anyway.
I don't know why they keep rushing aggressively, like they go get a fumble or something, or you think the guy's going to fumble and they can pick it up and run with it. This game is over.
20 overall.
I know the effort still needs to be there if you rushing the passer, but some of the things that I'm seeing, This is very this is a draining game for Florida because they came out and they played hard. They played tough until the last minutes, I would think. Florida fans, they don't look happy. Yeah, the game's over.
They're not happy.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling. One thing about coaching is it's a lot of downs and a very few ups. Like you get those wins, you only have a day or so to celebrate, and then you back at it again, practicing, preparing for the next game.
Those wins are short-lived.
But one thing is for sure, if LSU play like this when they started this game out against a better team, they're going to get beat. With a better offense, a more explosive offense. Yeah. They're going to get beat because Florida, if Florida would have executed tonight like they should have, they would have had a chance to beat LSU. Mm-hmm. So LSU's got a lot of work to do as well. So anyway, I really enjoyed this show along with our first show on the first half, and we're going to keep moving, keep pushing with these shows. We'll have Najee back on Monday. We'll do a complete weekend wrap of all of the college games. You'll cover some of the NFL games tomorrow. We'll talk about those. Got some news.
How in the world Notre Dame is 8? How is Notre Dame?
That's a good question because they lost one game, right? They lost to Miami. They were 0-1, right? Didn't they have a bye week?
Now, their Texas A&M is 16, and they 2-0. How in the hell is Notre Dame is number 8? They're still in the top 10, and Texas A&M is 2-0, and it's a tie game, 34-34, with 8 minutes to go.
Let me take a look at this. Yeah.
I don't understand how they're number 8. That's my point.
And Notre Dame is 0-1 and sitting at 8. I don't. That's not good logic. I don't understand that either. I mean, now they may be looking at the competition that Miami beat Notre Dame, and Miami was top competition as opposed to Texas A&M's games, because Texas A&M is 2-0 right now, and it looks. Well, Texas A&M beat University of Texas, San Antonio, and Utah State. So
that's a hole. Look at that hole right there. You're holding like crazy.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, we'll wrap up this show, and I enjoyed our show tonight. I enjoyed, as always, me and you getting together, and we're talking about football. This is what we talked about, and this is what we're going to continue to talk about. Thank you, the viewer, for joining us. We really appreciate you coming along with us on this journey. Keep joining us because we want you here. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button, especially if you like what we're doing. Let us know. Keep us abreast of anything that you have, that you want us to talk about. We'll be glad to entertain that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and have my kinfolk Isaiah close this thing out, and we'll do it again on Monday.
I salute you guys, man. This is a beautiful Saturday. You could have been doing anything in life, and you're, tuned into us and our show and listen to our commentary on this game. But it was a pleasant game to watch, and Florida took a L, so they got to regroup and try to get back on track. But other than that, thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. You guys have a good week, safe week, because, so many things are happening, and, life is really fast right now. But tell all your friends, your family, your loved ones that you love them and you care for them, and continue to look out for one another. Take care, everybody.
Absolutely. I'll second to that. Once again, I'm Derek Stewart along with Isaiah, and we will see you again soon. Take care of yourself before you take care of others. Look out for everyone around you, and peace, love, and prosperity. Take care.